This article lays out the critical roles or hats that need to be worn, also called job functions, by implementation stage for your CIMcloud implementation project. I'm just going to add some more color or context to what you're seeing on this page. The first thing to understand before you get overwhelmed by this is to realize that the giant majority of the roles here, and typically all of them on new implementations, are part-time roles or just hats that people are going to wear. And the key is deciding if you have these hats or capabilities within your organization, or you need an implementation partner to help you out by filling in and wearing some of these hats during the implementation project, and possibly even during the ongoing operation of your overall solution. I would not recommend going out and hiring brand new people to try to fill these roles. I would recommend having people within the organization wear them as hats, or contracting with an implementation partner during an implementation project to fill some of these roles or hats if you're having capacity or skill set issues with them. One thing to note is there is a number of roles that are down the page here that are listed, and in the overall job functions worksheet that we talk through the program, projects, platform, and solution framework. But we very typically see combo roles emerge. So one of them, I'll talk through these three. The Sim Ninja is basically the person that's the guru on all things of how CIMcloud and the ERP integration works. So they're going to have detailed knowledge of how the whole application works inside the content, the product, and the settings workspace. So they're going to be the person that knows how to get in and tweak and change the way tax calculations or shipping calcs or payment methods work, how product content works, or how to lay that out. It's not unusual to see someone take that role. The second role is the Sim Organizer role. This is someone that should be very detail-oriented and very good at managing issues lists and getting those issues discussed and deciding whether they need to be tasks or action items or not, or be parked for later. And they would also manage the overall plan for the project and keep all the trains running on time. They're holding people accountable that are doing the different parts of the implementation project and keeping everything organized. So they should be very good and task-oriented, very good at organizing and managing tasks, and making sure they're keeping up with people and like I said, keeping the trains running on time would be the organizer. So there is project management and project planning that's going on during your initial implementation project, and then subsequent projects that may come later as you're adding more capabilities or trying to grow adoption on the platform. There is also what you might call a Scrum Master, or on program level work that's ongoing, trying to decide what the next projects are. There is typically work that's involved in there as you're coming up with ideas, as you start having success on the platform on new capabilities to implement or things that you can do to grow adoption or get better returns or more returns on the CIMcloud platform. So that person's basically there to organize everything and keep it all on track. And then the entrepreneur, I would call that's a person that's basically helping on a program level. It's helping the program manager identify and shape up the business objectives for what you're trying to do with your overall SIM program. They're also working with people getting user training and adoption, so people that are involved in promoting the platform to your customers to get them to use it and adopt, and promoting it to your reps within the CRM workspace to get them to use it and adopt. And they may also play what the software industry calls a product manager, or you may have heard of as a business analyst. But they're the ones that are basically bridging the gap between what are the business objectives that we're trying to accomplish, and they understand enough technically to know what's possible or practical to help weigh out priorities or come up with solutions on how to achieve those business outcomes within the platform, or configuration in the platform, or even customizations on top of the platform. I've addressed these 5 critical roles in a separate video. Going down to the other key roles that happen in the implementation stage. The lead project planner is someone that is very typically might be the project manager also, but they're the ones that are in charge of figuring out what the entire work breakdown structure of the tasks are related to each project to achieve the goals, and making sure they're assigned to people that can do the tasks, and they've got a schedule built out to get those tasks done. They understand the task interdependencies and what the prerequisites are to get other tasks done. So they're laying out an overall project plan that the manager can then manage. The product catalog or info architect is the person that is basically has a very strong understanding of your product mix and the way customers want to consume your products or be able to find and search for products. And they're laying out the whole game plan within CIMcloud and our product workspace. There are a lot of options on how you organize products between what we call product families or parent-child products, product categories, if you're using things like faceted search, deciding what facets you're searching by. All of these things are typically decided by an info architect or someone that's going to lay out the overall product strategy that then is going to be driven into your product content and data managers, who are going to actually do all the data preparation and load. So that's going into the next load role. And very typically we'll see these roles played by the same person, but it's important to understand the skill set distinction there of this is a strategic decision making that understands the technical implications of it and how the product works and what it's capable of, and marrying that to the business needs that you guys have. This person is actually executing the work of preparing the supplemental data. So when product data syncs from the ERP system out, it's basically what we call raw product data. That rich data would be adding categories, adding extended descriptions, preparing images and uploading them of various sizes, preparing related documents like MSDS sheets or spec sheets, things like that. That would all be done by these product content and data managers. There's also stuff beyond the product data, although that's the vast majority of the work. The end-to-end QA tester might be the guru or the implementer, but this is someone that knows all the major workflows and knows the business implications. And they're basically testing, for example, to make sure when a quote is created and then an order is placed in the platform or a shopping cart turns into an order, the order syncs into the ERP properly. It can actually be picked, packed, and shipped, and all the way through to making sure payment is getting collected. And as you're making changes or upgrading the platform, this QA tester is going to come back in to make sure there wasn't any unintended consequences with your changes, and that all of the business operations can work on both the front end for customers and on the back end for the fulfillment people or people working out of your ERP system. Some other roles critical for the live rollout. The lead operator is also very typically the lead implementer who's on the implementation stage of the project. Most typically that's the same person. But the lead operator basically is the guru to know everything. They're the end-all, be-all of detailed knowledge of how all the data is set up in the product content and settings workspace, and how that all syncs and integrates with the ERP. So they got to be a tech-savvy person that's also detail-oriented and is willing to dig in and get their hands dirty and learn the platform. The onboarding and adoption, and then your rep onboarding and adoption, customer onboarding and adoption. These are people, depending on what your target is, many times we see people just focusing on customers or just focusing on reps or both. But these are the people that typically would be managers, like this might be a customer service manager or sales manager up here that's in charge of getting adoption by your customer. The rep might be a sales manager, customer service manager getting onboarding and adoption from the reps. But they're there to make sure that they're promoting the platform to those users, and they're holding the users, and they're training the users. They're identifying if there's any issues with adoption, and then driving those back to the on the program level or the operator level to get those things addressed to try to expand adoption. So you might measure their success by how many customers are coming in and logging into the portal at least, or the front end site at least once a week or once a month, and what percentage of the orders are being placed, what percent of invoice payments are being placed in the customer site, the B2B portal, or the retail-facing or anonymous-facing sites in the case of customers. The product manager, business analyst is I've explained that already within the entrepreneur space. above, but that's the person that's going to identify opportunities to grow and marry their technical knowledge of the platform or working with people that have it, and the business knowledge that the program manager is communicating through business outcomes of what they're looking for. So that's more details or more context on all these roles. If there's anything we can do to help, let us know.